Hello, trading has closed on March the 6th, 2025. We always start with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls and then make our predictions. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, which is March the 7th, 2025. Remember, my calls can change, my calls can be wrong. Trade at your own risk. Also, I have personal business tonight. I don't have much time to analyze things, and non-farm payrolls report comes out before they open, and I don't like to predict the response to major economic reports. Well, what do we say? I'll look for the pattern with the early high, which is this. Tomorrow should also have the early high. We had a target, 58.1080. I wasn't certain it was going to print. I was very bullish. I thought this was a good bottom. Any move needs confirmation. That certainly is not confirmation. I wasn't certain that was going to print, and if it did print, I thought it was going to be support. We opened down around 80 points, and according to my rule, gapping sharply in the undesired direction kills the call before the open, so there really wasn't a call. As far as the number goes, it was a very accurate number, but instead of being support, it turned out to be resistance, which is not what I was expecting. This is just a review of what we said. Today is Dale Woodson's turn date. We hit a new low. If this holds, he's called it again. He's been darn good lately. During the day, we got an ultimate buy signal and a buy signal. It sure didn't call the next move. It just gave higher targets, but it did identify this move as being false, and we did hit the target, and we did find resistance there. We still haven't. Here's one bar completely under the TDST line. We trade one bar completely under this bar. Support's broken. That hasn't happened yet, and until then we're at support. This is a 200-day moving average going straight up. This is a decline going straight down, and they've met here. When that happens, almost always support's going to hold. You never say always. If we gap down here, then I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. But the further away you are from the 200-day moving average when the move starts, the less likely you are to break through the first time. And this is analogous to the situation of a wall into the close. This is quote, a wall, unquote, of selling into a strong support. When you do that, you're either going to gap under it or support's going to win. It's the same principle. So this is a very strong support area. And now again, support doesn't always hold, but the odds are it's going to hold. Doesn't make me right. This is the lower Bollinger Band on the weekly chart. You'll see how unusual it is for prices to go significantly past the lower band on the weekly chart. So I still think we're at support. Well, here was the line. We've gone slightly under it. Is that really enough to say it's a break of support? Well, it could turn into one, but if we go up smartly tomorrow, which hasn't happened yet, that wouldn't kill the idea, although it is lower than I thought we were going to go. Well, here's the line again. I mean, is that enough to kill the idea? And look at the 200-day moving average. I mean, I thought that was going to hold. Does that little break under it kill the idea? We closed over it. I'm just not convinced that's enough. Now, it could all change tomorrow. We gap down here, print a bar down here, then it failed, and I'm wrong. I mean, that's always possible. I'm just not convinced support's broken. Friday's pattern has the early high regardless of where we open. Today's pattern should rally to close near the high or have a straight line drop and close near the low. Neither happened, but time doesn't run out until tomorrow's open. Therefore, I expect a gap opening tomorrow with a prompt move outside of today's range. I mean, you could say that's a straight line drop, but for the pattern to really play out, you really have to close near the low. Now again, tomorrow's open substitutes for today's close. So we open down here, that's a straight line drop and more declines coming. But when you're dropping all day in the close, can't take out these lows, the drop didn't really accomplish anything. If we go up from here, that's an if. If we go up, it's a rejection of the break to new lows right at Woodson's time frame. So that's just not enough for me to give up on the idea. The non-farm payroll report comes out before the open tomorrow. I can't predict the response to such reports with a sufficient degree of accuracy. Sentiment indicators are more extreme than they were during the past week, and supports being threatened just hasn't been convincingly broken, but it has gone lower than I thought it would. So you have to admit when you're wrong sometimes, but I'm going to stick with it for now. We gap down smartly and hold it. I'm just wrong. The sharp decline today couldn't manage to close under recent lows, and if that's maintained, this is a bullish pattern. I can't say with 100% certainty support will hold here. If the response to non-farm payroll is bearish and we gap down strongly, we could trade much lower because we've had all kinds of valid signals, all kinds. And when they fail, they tend to fail big. But I am reasonably confident that if we gap up smartly tomorrow and overtake today's high, that a large number of shorts will be forced to cover, and any rally which occurs should be a big rally. Sentiment indicators are at extreme levels. They're seen only near lows. It tells you the time. It doesn't tell you the price. And it doesn't guarantee that we go up tomorrow, but it's pretty much a lock that if we gap up tomorrow and take this out and keep going up, that it should be a very big rally. So the reward is there, but I can't say the risk isn't. So we have an important report coming out tomorrow. I don't have any particular skill in predicting the response to those reports. If it's down, it could be much lower, but if it's up, it could be much, much, much higher. It's the pattern with the early high. Look for a gap opening. It should be telling. Prompt move outside the range. That's what I think is going to happen tomorrow. And based on the short amount of time I have had to do my analysis tonight, that's my call.